Hello world, it's Goji04 with you once again. Hope you guys are doing well. I have a lot of things to talk about in this video, but first thing I want to talk about was the newest superhero movie, the big Marvel splash, Captain America Civil War, that just came out last week. Went and saw it myself. For me, the biggest superhero movie of the year I'm excited for. Civil War, what I think. Well, let me tell you right now, I thought it was very, very good. If you don't really know what Civil War is too much about, if you don't follow Marvel as much, I mean, essentially it's between Captain America and Tony Stark. I mean, they've been going around as the Avengers, but obviously a lot of stuff has happened along the way, and there's a lot of collateral damage when they're fighting robots and terrorists and, you know, Hydra and all that. And a lot of people have gotten angry and think that they're out of control, that they're vigilantes. And so they want to put a little bit of regulation on them. And Tony Stark, Iron Man, is all for that, and Captain America is not. He feels that the Avengers should be run by the Avengers. Then this gets even more complicated when events come down that happen to implicate Bucky, the Winter Soldier, Captain America's old friend from World War II that basically fell off a train and then was kidnapped by Hydra, brainwashed, turned into a super secret soldier assassin who's basically crazy. And now he's free, but everybody still thinks he's a terrorist. But Captain America's, no, he's my best friend, he's a good guy now, I swear. But nobody believes him. And it ends up being like the Avengers kind of fighting each other, Captain America's team versus Tony Stark's team, and this is a big, awesome fight. I'm giving too much away. Yes, Spider-Man's in it, and he's hilarious and funny. Black Panther is awesome and badass. Now, from a critical standpoint, because I can fanboy all over this, but I will get a little more critical, it's a very good film. My main issues with it is it does feel like it ends a little bit too much without a resolution. It does set up a lot more, and I feel like I'm giving too much away by telling you that, but it very much is still a setup movie. But it still does conclude a lot of things at the same time. It's interesting to see where this film leaves off. This film is going to change a lot of things in the Marvel Universe. At least on Earth. Because this is the last Captain America movie, so it's like, some things still are loose. It's like, well then, when are we gonna, I don't know. I'm getting too much into detail, because that's almost too much spoiler. And then, in comparison to the original comic book, right, the Civil War comic book of 2005 is a very different comic book. There's a lot more, first of all, that's based off the existing Marvel Universe with hundreds of superheroes and decades of the Avengers as a team with a rotating roster. All these things have happened. It's a whole much larger universe. And what starts off that thing is pretty different, the Registration Act. And so if you were a really big fan of that, this is a mini version of that comic book. It's much less, way less heroes, way less going on, different scenario. It's still just as intense and as emotional, but it's not exactly that. So if you were a huge fan of the Civil War comic, I would not tell you to walk in expecting that. You're gonna have to lower your expectations, or not lower them, but it's a good Captain America movie, it's a good Marvel movie. Once again, they do well, but it's not a direct adaptation of the Civil War comic. It's different. It's loosely based on, but still good, enjoyable. So definitely gonna have to add that to my top 10 of superhero movies, and I have to say this is probably my favorite Captain America film of the trilogy. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Captain America Civil War. Now, what else is going on in news? Well, there's still quite a bit in terms of new movies. The Power Rangers are back. Mighty Morphin. Oh no, that's Ultraman. Sorry, guys. Anyway, released photos of the Power Rangers come out. They're filming it right now. I think it comes out next year. Pretty interesting, right? Power Rangers is back, but they're making a new Power Rangers film, which is interesting. I think it's an all-American production as compared to the show, which is taken from the Super Sentai Japanese show, if you didn't know that. Anyway, so the new suits look really interesting. They're trying to go for a sleek, modern look while still encapsulating the old one. But honestly, they just look like Tony Stark designed a bunch of suits for them. Someone said they look like Spartans from Halo. So I don't know, and I don't know about the new logo. I'm a little worried. They're like trying too hard to make it serious. but at the same time, it's like it could coming off as really, really cheesy, which I'm just like, it just needs to be fun and silly. Like the original Power Rangers, fun and silly. So I don't know, but again, I'm not a huge fan of the Power Rangers now. Like again, I kind of grew out of it. No offense. I mean, if you're an older Power Rangers fan, I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It's just not for me, I think. So I don't know, but interesting. I mean, cool. You know, we'll see if there's any cool mechs and monsters and stuff, and maybe the visual effects will be sick. You know, who knows? But it's one to look out for. You know, could be fun. Could be a fun movie. And then, of course, the big one. This is something that's been developing a couple weeks ago. Respawn Entertainment, the guys who made Titanfall, and who actually basically spinned off of Infinity Ward many years ago when they left Infinity Ward, the guys who made Modern Warfare 2, to start their own company. Respawn is going to make a new Star Wars game. They signed a license with EA to make a new Star Wars game of their own. And now today, EA has announced they're going to make a ton more Star Wars games. Respawn's game is going to be one of many. And starting next year, we're getting Battlefront 2, followed by Visceral Games' Star Wars game in 2018. And then in 2019, we're getting Battlefront 3. And then in 2020, we're getting Respawn's Star Wars game. So essentially, they're pulling what Disney's doing, except for video games. Starting next year, we're going to get a Star Wars game every year. Now, I've already talked about how I feel about a new Star Wars movie every year, how we could probably very quickly get burnt out on that. And then Battlefront, everybody, I mean, you can talk to anybody about the issues with that game, how there's hardly any single player. It's multiplayer only, and even that dries up pretty fast. There's not really enough to it. And the fact that, you know, most of the game, like, you basically had to pay $120 to get, you know, the DLC to really get a full game experience out of it. And now, guess what? In 2 years, hell, next year, the second one comes out. Which basically means that for everybody who bought Battlefront for $120 freaking dollars, in a year, the servers are going to be dead because everyone's going to go play Battlefront 2. So you wasted $120 to play for maybe 2 years. But then there's going to be Battlefront 3 in 2 years after that. So, DICE EA really need to pick up, you know, fix the things that, you know, give us a single player campaign, give us more in the multiplayer, give us more, don't make us spend $120 to freaking get the full experience. You know, I feel bad for people who did that. There's a reason I didn't even buy Battlefront. I played it, it's fun, don't get me wrong. It's fun, it's enjoyable, but it's not worth $120, it's not worth $65 in my opinion. And I really hope Battlefront 2 solves these problems. Because if not, you know, that will really suck. And then Battlefront 3, and yeah, and again, it's kind of like, is this turning into Call of Duty? You know, Infinite Warfare and Call of Duty, you know, just got announced, and everybody's like, I don't care, I'm just gonna go play, you know, Battlefield. And it's like, is that what we're gonna see in a couple years when the newest Star Wars game, Battlefront 4 or 5, comes out, and everybody's like, another freaking Battlefront, another Star Wars game? I don't care. I'll go play, you know, Uncharted 7 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, again, Disney and EA are very, like, you know, they're on top of the world. They're doing cocaine off yachts or whatever right now. They're high on Star Wars. And they're like, we're going to keep crunching out movies and games, and no one will ever get tired of our stuff, ever, because it's Star Wars, right? The Star Wars fans will, you know, they love our shit. They'll always give us money for it. Well, like, we'll see how long that lasts, because nothing lasts forever. And again, if Battlefront was a clear sign of what's to come, like, I'm almost worried. I'm like, come on, you know, I really hope they learned from the feedback that everybody gave them to make Battlefront 2 much better, and hopefully Battlefront 3. I mean, the DLC for Battlefront 2, Battlefront 1 hasn't even fully come out yet, right? We're supposed to get DLC throughout the rest of the year. So, I don't know, whatever, right? I mean, say what you will about EA, and I mean, everybody in the world has already bashed EA to hell and back, so I don't need to sit here and do that. I'm just here to tell you that expect a lot more Star Wars games. Just cross your fingers that they get better. That's my only thing. Hopefully Visceral Games' Star Wars game and Respawn's Star Wars game is pretty good. Everyone talks about we're getting a third-person, open-world style Star Wars game, and I'm really hoping for that. Be fantastic. But anyway, that's all for this vlog today, guys. I hope you guys had a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!